Daniel was a happy child. He lived with his Mima Jean in a cozy house in South Windsor. He loved to play with his toys and spend time with his Mima. Life was simple and sweet. Daniel loved the sound of leaves crunching under his feet. He loved the smell of pine needles in the air. He and Mima would often take walks in the woods near their home. One sunny afternoon, everything changed. Daniel and Mima were enjoying their walk in the woods. They were laughing and talking, enjoying the warmth of the sun. Suddenly there were loud bangs Daniel didn't understand. He fell to the ground, confused and scared. He felt a sharp pain again and again. Daniel lay very still. He felt a strange wetness on his chest. He looked down and saw blood. He was scared. He thought of Mima. He had to get help, but Mima was gone. He was alone. Daniel remembered something his Mima had taught him. He put his hand on his chest and started to push. He took a deep breath and blew into his own mouth. He did this over and over again. He didn't know how long he lay there. He drifted in and out of consciousness, but he didn't give up. He kept pushing on his chest, kept breathing. Finally, he heard a sound. Someone was calling his name. It was a park ranger. Daniel woke up in a hospital bed. He was hooked up to machines. He felt sore and weak, but he was alive. The doctors told him he had been shot 17 times. They said it was a miracle he survived. Daniel had to stay in the hospital for a long time. He had many surgeries and therapies, but he never complained. He was just grateful to be alive. As he healed, he noticed something peculiar. The rhythmic beeping of the machines, the gentle whispers of the nurses, the soft crinkling of the sheets. These sounds, reminiscent of the terrifying gunshots, oddly calmed him. Mima Jean was devastated. When she couldn't find Daniel, she ran for help. She cried and cried when she found out he had been shot. She stayed by his side in the hospital, never leaving him alone. Mima Jean made a promise to Daniel. She promised she would find out who did this. She promised she would get justice for him. Daniel didn't care about justice. He just wanted to feel safe again. He wanted to go home. He wanted to hear the soothing sounds of the woods without fear. Section 6. The Search for Answers. Mima Jean kept her promise. She went to the police every week asking for updates. She talked to the park rangers asking if they had seen anything. She put up flyers with Daniel's picture asking for information. Years went by. The police didn't have any leads. The park rangers hadn't seen anything. No one came forward with information. But Mima Jean never gave up hope. She kept Daniel's story alive. She told everyone she met about her brave grandson. She told them about the shooting, about his miraculous survival, about his strength. Section 7. A Name from the Past. One day, Mima Jean was talking to an old friend. She was telling her about Daniel, as she always did. Suddenly, her friend gasped. She said she remembered something. She remembered a man named Nara Dilaram Natradis. He had lived in South Windsor a long time ago. He had been known to be cruel and dangerous. He had disappeared shortly after Daniel was shot. Section 8. Finding Peace through ASMR. Mima Jean went to the police with this new information. The police investigated. They found out that Nara Dilaram Natradis had a criminal record. He had been arrested for assault and weapons charges. The police believed he was responsible for shooting Daniel, but they couldn't find him. He had disappeared without a trace. Mima Jean was heartbroken. She had promised Daniel justice, but it seemed like justice would never come. Meanwhile, Daniel was growing up. He was still haunted by the shooting. He had nightmares. He was afraid of loud noises. He was withdrawn and quiet, but he found solace in the sounds that reminded him of his survival. He started recording himself whispering, tapping on objects, crinkling paper. He discovered the world of ASMR. Section 9. Daniel's Legacy of Hope. Daniel started posting his ASMR videos online. He wanted to share the peace he found with others. He wanted to help people who were struggling with anxiety, insomnia, or trauma. He called his channel Whispers of Hope. Daniel's videos were a hit. People loved his soothing voice and gentle sounds. They found comfort and relaxation in his videos. Daniel's story resonated with many. He became an inspiration. Though the shooter was never found, Daniel's spirit remained unbroken. He transformed his trauma into a source of healing, not just for himself, but for countless others around the world. He showed everyone that even in the darkest of times, hope can be found in the most unexpected places.